Hello everyone, this is Miss Twilightpoison here, and I hope the audio is good, because if it's not, I'm gonna scream. Anyway, it's that time again, birthday season, I will do a video, blah, etc. So, the problem is, though I say that, I've been struggling recently with some things mentally. There wasn't really a time where I could clearly think of an idea to do that's clearly original, or at least for this channel. So like no video games, because I play video games often on here, and speed art I already done, and then I already talked about Maple Story, but then I thought about, how about I talk about one or two, if all things go well, two of my oldest stories ever to be told. The one I'm going to be talking about in this video is my oldest original story that I made myself. And then the other one is the oldest original story I made with other people's help, or other people basically contributing. So, also, I want to talk about this original story. Right now, currently, it's called Cerulean. I mentioned it in my Maple Story video before, and it's my first original story I made basically on my own. I was in 6th grade, maybe earlier, maybe 5th grade when I was making this. And that was the first ever plot of it. Like, the first ever plot of this story was in that, area. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's get off of really depressing topics. Anyway, so, Cerulean first didn't have a name until later on. So, this first, as you're seeing, this first iteration, you can notice certain things about the characters. So the purple hair girl that you're seeing on screen, I can't see it right now, but I think she was named Aqua. No, she was named Emily. Oh my god, are all my female, well, quote unquote female, are all my female characters like self-inserts? From what I remember, her name was Emily, and then there was the other side of her, which was Blaze, and basically the idea was that one was an angel / fairy, and then the other one was a demon, but they were like the same person for some reason, and so the blue hair guy, I don't remember his name, but he became Rinosuke or Rin. Yeah, so that was that. That was like, I guess that came to the next iteration where I still wanted to keep the two girls, so I was like, okay, nice, neat. Let's split them off. Let's make them two different people. There was some iterations I can't find where they did have the same hairstyle, but just like different color eyes. But then I changed the girl who was named Emily to Aqua, and then Blaze kept the same, but then I changed Blaze's hair to be red, so she was like all red. And then I think next was the curse, which I think I made this in 6th grade. So this one I definitely know I made in 6th grade, and because I remember in class thinking about this story, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good, this is like a good story, I love it. Basically Blaze was cursed. So the first person she falls in love with or something, or declares her love to, their kiss is basically her energy, and if she lives near them in a certain radius, she loses energy and they have to kiss her to give her more. Don't ask how that worked. I was a kid. I didn't experience anything romantic in my life. I thought I knew what romance was, and I just rolled with it, okay? Okay. Then after the curse, there was having an angel for a mother. Oh my god. So I think this is where I changed Patchy's name, Aqua's name to Patchy, or Patchouli. And then I did not give her a makeover. I changed her hair, but it was still gold eyes with purple hair. Because anime. Anime look, okay? But having an angel for your mother, for our mother, was supposed to be the story about how Blaze was cursed. Because, yeah, that was still a thing. But it was like the angel, for some reason, was like obsessed with the idea of, because this time the curse was on her previous life, and the angel was like obsessed with it because, spoiler alerts, the angel was Blaze in the past life, and it was just trying to guide her now, future self to be with Renosuke. I don't know who he was in the past, but like apparently they were dating. I don't know. I don't even know my own story. But no, I think that was the thing, was like the past selves, Mark, Rin, Patchy, and Blaze were dating, and then something happened and they died. But in that process of them getting killed, Blaze got cursed. Blaze's past self got cursed, and then became obsessed with the idea of guiding her now self to basically make everything how it was before. And Blaze being the stereotypical tsundere. Siri, I did not talk to you! But Blaze being the typical tsundere, bad girl type character, she was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I don't like this guy. Leave me alone. It's interesting to see her. I wouldn't want you guys to watch all this, but you know what? So, okay, I was right where the no form spirits happened. So no form spirits was what happens afterwards. And after having an angel for a mother, no, this didn't come out on the internet either. Instead, I kept it to myself. So no form spirits kept the same character. So we have Patchy, Blaze, Rin, and Mark. And then I added a whole bunch. So basically the idea of no form spirits is that they're humans, and then there's a race of people called no form spirits. Don't ask why they were called that. I don't even know. But they could basically change the form of anything they want. But they were assigned an element and an animal, and they couldn't change into anything else. Well, they could change into anything else, but they could, when they wanted to change into an animal, they had to change it to that specific animal, and they could only use that specific element. So Blaze was a phoenix and fire. Aqua was actually, I don't know what Aqua was. I think she was just a dragon. Or an ice bird, like Articuno style. And then water. Rinosuke was earth, and I made it up because Maple Story, they didn't have that much like animal attributes to give your character, so I gave him like the six rock arm. I think it was supposed to be for Zarkon, I don't know, that's the boss's name, but it was like 6 rock arms on the back. So I called this Stegopolysaurus. No, Stegopoly. Yeah, that was it, because my sister named it with me, but that was before everything. But yeah, he was Earth, and he had like, instead of an animal, I just created a whole different like species of creatures. And then, again, not an animal, but Mark, I think, was a demon, and his, like, element was dark, like dark magic. Then I added 2 new characters, which was Lightning, which, guess what his element was? Gee, I wouldn't know, but he was a fox boy. And then, I don't know why I didn't connect the dots of how stupid I was as a writer, but I added another self-insert called Leon, not Leon, she'd be calling me on down the road, but she has my name, Emily. See, some people have like actual self-inserts that don't have the same name as them, but I was a simple kid with a simple mind, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna use my name because that's the only name I can think of. So, I think mine was, I'm gonna straight up say it. I'm gonna say mine. My element was light, but she was a human, and she was connected to the no-form lightning. Yeah, so I shipped myself with my own OC. That was a weird time in my life. Didn't like that at all, now I think about it. Why? Luckily I changed that. But anyway, Snowform spirits, besides that, I didn't keep the reincarnation in a sense. Well, I did, but in a sense I kept it as, since every no form has a human, the humans were the reincarnation, except for Emily and Lightning. They were reincarnated themselves, and every no form has a spiritual connection to their human. So. So you might be wondering, Twilight, please tell me this is improved, and I would tell you yes. So the thing about Cerulean is that through these iterations, I put it down for a while, and so this time I put it down until now. So Leon, her full name is Leon Albarn right now. She's 17, so this takes place in their senior year of high school. So I can like explore more darker tones. I changed their species to Conducts. Conducts was a name given to me by Cass. She got from a video game, but for me it's basically the ability to conduct magic through your veins, basically. Having the ability to basically, or not veins, but like through the air, through your body, everything. To basically be able to capture the essence of magic. So, basically, what happened in the past, because this is gonna be all spoilered, and this is not spoilered. This is all like how I written the story. It's already told what was happening. So basically, back then there was 6 kingdoms. Actually, I have to bring it up. I'm bad at making kingdom names, so I actually just randomized different generators to get these names. So there was Rovalia, Theoris, Ephraim / Asari, and Leova. So let's start with Ephraim and Asari. Asari is an island in which Mari came from, which is Patchy's past life. Ephraim is Oz's kingdom, which is Blaze's. Theoris is Marcus's, who was originally known by Umbra. Rin is Jedi, and Rinosuke is Jedi. But the thing is, Jedi was a nobleman of Theoris. He was related to the crown, so he was cousins with Umbra. Then you have Rova, who is Lucian's kingdom, which is Lore. And then you have Leova, which is Hina. Yeah, it's Hina's kingdom, and that's Leon's thing. So basically, in the past, Hina was originally human, and she was blessed by the goddess of light, or I should say the deity of light, to become a conduct and to rule over Leova. People originally didn't like, or still actually throughout her reign, they didn't like Hina. They did extremely hate her for sympathizing with humans. Basically, Hina was a big advocate for human rights. Literally human rights. Because the conducts were so, like, I'm better than you lowly, non-magic folk. Humans kind of just were stuck with the lower life choice. They weren't really nobles. But after Hina's rule, they kind of rose the ranks a little bit. So, yeah, so Hina was the last person to become a queen because of that, which sparked interest in the other queens and kings. So they kept on inviting her to all these parties and such, but Hina would always decline because between her and her advisor and her captain, which were best friends, she knew that she shouldn't interact with these rulers because they were, to her as a human, they were ruthless. They didn't care about humans. Every time she visited one of the kingdoms for like a festival, or if we're visiting family, she would see the horrors that their kingdom had. It wasn't until the royal guard, Captain Kira, or basically along with Luca, who was the advisor, basically told Hina very strictly that she should go, only to keep up relationships with the folk over in the other kingdoms. So she went to a masquerade party where she met Lucian for the first time. Lucian was the first person she actually met and she fell in love with, but once she got along with Lucian, she slowly opened up herself to him, kind of dropping hints of who she was, not knowing who Lucian was either. And they both had these philosophical talks throughout the night. They both agreed about the humans, that he wished that he could meet Hina so they could discuss on what to do for the future. When Hina was leaving, she told Lucian who she was and then booked it. Literally, she was getting into her carriage and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Hina," and then left. Basically, how she met everyone else is that the others got really mad that Lucian got to meet her first, and she didn't introduce herself to anyone else because Lucian was basically taking up most of her time. So they kind of forcibly went to her kingdom, her castle, to introduce themselves. And Hina was not about that life. She was startled, to say the least. I forgot to mention that Hina had a brother who disappeared randomly one day. At the same time she was blessed with this power, he disappeared the same day. So I only remember that because I have to now introduce how her brother's evil now because he was corrupted. I still haven't figured out what I wanted to name this deity, but basically there was a corrupted god, and he used Hina's brother as a puppet to corrupt her and everyone else, because these are still very powerful conducts. They're the closest things to demigods, basically. Actually, they could be considered demigods, that's how powerful they were. So that happened. Hina, her brother kind of just barged into the castle saying "Hello, sister," and Hina was just so she kind of has a mental freak out about that. And then her brother warns her that he's gonna start a war where she's either has to give herself and her friends up, or they have to fight each other. So Leon kind of has a breakdown on that, and then reveals to her friends that she was human, revealing her true form, her human form, because she still has that. But she was always, when she was blessed, she had a disguise on the whole time to make her look like a conduct, but she still has a human form that she could just rip off the illusion and be like, "Yo, what's up?" So basically, Hina does some extensive research and extensive planning. She's being a little flustered because of the whole brother thing, but after she told everyone her origins, they were accepting and tried to help her as well. Hina then discovered fortune magic and looked into the future, where she saw Leon and all of those characters in the future being happy and having fun. So it was safe to say that she knew that reincarnation was the only choice. So she created a spell that could... So she split the corrupted god, and along with all this corruption, it's just 6 snakes that if you're bitten by them, it's like a parasite. You become their host. And basically it brings out the worst in you. Depending on which one you're bitten with, that attribute is the one that gets worse. So yeah, she does the spell. She kills basically her brother and all the other kings and queens. And this leads to her kingdom getting destroyed, and Azamari's kingdom getting destroyed, and leaving only Furious and Rovia, leading those 2 kingdoms to be the only kingdoms surviving. during that time of the whole abandonment, humans escaped to another world called Reale, which is Earth, with the knowledge that Ginso, where this is taking place, is basically the world above. Then is the start of our current story, our current plot. And let me introduce you to the characters one by one. So Leon, aka Hina, she's half conduct, half human. She goes to high school. She currently lives with her aunt and her brother because her parents died. Because of the reincarnation spell, she scars very easily. And there's another reason why she scars very easily, but it's mostly because of the reincarnation spell. And you can see all those pink marks or scars. And she has more all over her arms, on her legs, on her stomach, everywhere. Her personality is very manipulative. Though she is very loyal, she wants to make up for what her past self did to her friends. So she wants all the current current people to hate her, if that makes sense. Like Leon wants her Hina's friends' current lives, current selves, to hate her. Back to her being manipulative. So basically she can use magic, but since she looks human, she basically can do magic and then be like, oh, I'm just a human, I can't do that. Like, I can't do magic. What are you talking about? So she gets away with a lot of things. She's very passive though. Most of her plans work with her not being involved directly with the problem, and hates it when she has to get everything rolling. But she will do it if she must. She's the type of person that will get her hands dirty if it means bettering and protecting her friends. I like this version of Leon because she is more of a character. She's not anything like me at all anymore. She's finally grown into her own character, and I love her for it. So Lore Martinez. Should probably actually pronounce these correctly. He is a fox conduct, and he is still the prince. His personality is that he's nice to everyone. He really wants to see the good in people and normally forces himself to do so. It's kind of hard for him to do that towards Leon, but he wants to know who hurt her. He wants to know who hurt her, basically. Because he's also a very determined and persistent person, and it annoys people a lot when he does that, but they know he means well, so they can't really yell at him for it. Lore has a crush on the idea of being past lovers with someone, so he's mostly focused on Hina, but he does slowly grow feelings for Leon. Unfortunately, with how the book ends, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that's I feel bad. Next, we're gonna talk about my boy Renosuke. He is a Seigo Poly conduct. I kept that the same. He's nobility, but a high schooler. His personality is he's a very quiet person. He'd rather not stand out and prefers keeping to himself. He is actually the only one who kind of agrees with Leon, so that's why they get along so much. About not wanting to fully commit to being like his past self. The only difference is that he wants to meet everyone again and live a normal life. However, because of his nobility, he can't get that full normality he strives for, and feels trapped within his house and his bloodline. So please, so this is my oldest OC, basically. My oldest original OC, Blaze. Their last name, Blaze Przyszewski? The main thing that changed about them is that I made Blaze non-binary. He, him, they, them pronouns. So if I mess up and call Blaze a girl, that's because this was a recent change. His personality changed a lot. So back then he was a tsundere, like the stereotypical tsundere tomboy. Now he is a gym rat, but he's very smart when it comes to chemistry, specifically pyrochemistry, like pyrotechnics and fire dynamics and such. Basically, he likes setting things on fire. He's pretty confident and protective of his friends. Sometimes Blaze rushes in headfirst into battle because of his short temper, and he doesn't really think through his actions, even though he is really smart. So I actually haven't written his official bio, but Marcus Wolftree, I think his last name was. Here's his picture. So he is, I forgot what I made him. I don't remember his conduct, but so he's a Nux conduct, which basically means that he is this like, he's basically a dark angel, but I didn't want to write a dark angel, so I was like, you know what, instead of specifically saying, well, I shouldn't say a dark angel, it should say a fallen angel. Instead of saying that, he basically has a space motif happening. His personality, he too, like Leon, is very manipulative. He keeps a lot of secrets to himself, opting to put out either a very nice and polite front or a very harsh and rude front, depending on who he's talking to. He has a strong sense of right and wrong. He basically sees things as black and white. He never sees them as gray. He doesn't understand a lot of... he doesn't basically understand Leon's point of view, and he's basically Leon's foil. Because he is manipulative, but he's manipulative in the wrong sense. He always tries to get into people's good graces, no matter what, and if you're not useful to him, he doesn't really care as much. Which is really mean now that I think about it, but... he is currently dating Patchouli. And his parents don't really matter because we don't meet them. Granted, we didn't meet anyone else's either, but I don't have his bio written, so I can't read it off like I've been doing. But he's dating Patchouli, but he's only dating her because she was Mari. If she wasn't Mari, he probably wouldn't care for her. But he learns to love her, don't worry. It's fine, don't worry about that. He learns to love her after Leon calls him out. And that's enough with him, because I don't like him as much anymore, because he's kind of the bad guy. Not really, he's not the bad guy, but, you know. Next is my favorite like drawing of any remade characters. And like, look at her, she's so cute, I love her, oh my god. So this is Patchy. Basically she's a fish. She's technically a serpent. So Blaze is a dragon, she's a sea serpent. Actually I can't think of any like well-known serpents anymore. So the idea of conducts is that they either look very human, like extremely human, like you've seen with Lore and Rinosuke, or they look like kind of humanoid, like Patchy and Blaze. And so Patchy she's been described, like in the book, she's been described as cute, but extremely kind of creepy. Like, I think Leon said she reminds her of, she looks like she can be something out of H.P. Lovecraft. But like extremely cute. And it's weird. She's her personality is very bubbly. She, again, like Laura, she wants to see the good in people. She is very concerned with the mental health of a lot of her friends, because she starts to realize, she's basically the first one to see when things are going wrong. She knows when someone's lying. She knows when someone's, like, trying to be happy, even though they're not. She's also very insecure of herself, and she just brushes that emotion to the side, which is not healthy, because it starts to build up, and she does, at one point in the story, break down, which is what causes Marcus's reaction, awakening, in a sense, because in the past, Umbra and Mari were actually married, and they have this strong connection. And so once Patchy starts to break down, it's like reveals how what's the word? How insecure she is, because of how Marcus, she finally like tells Marcus that she knows he's been dating her just because of who she was, not like who she was in her past life, not for who she is, and how much she hates that, because Mari was so pretty. Basically, every time Mari was described, she was described as this most beautiful thing in the world. And Patchy, people look at her and go, she's kind of creepy. And so that's basically the stem of her insecurities. Yeah, she's adorable. Yeah, she's my adorable fish girl. I want to make her more into the story, but like with Renosuke and Patchy, it's kind of hard, because at one point they will have their character development. Every one of these characters will have their character development. It's just that it's hard because I want to write this into a book, and I don't want it to be as long as The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, but I also want to write everything I have for these characters, which is basically like 6 character arcs, including 3 snakes? Yeah, 3 snakes being destroyed. Oh no, 3 shadow snakes, 6 character arcs, and yeah, those are the plot points. And like, it's weird. It's a satisfying ending, even though not everyone gets what they want. That's all I'm saying. And I'm really proud of how far Cerulean has come from the dumb idea I had before with like the angels or fairies and the demons, because that was really weird. But I don't think I would ever got to this place without the experiences I had. And the fact that I'm going to be 21 and I've been working on this since the 5th grade, or even the 4th grade, I don't even remember how far back, but in elementary school, and I'm in college now, I'm going to end my college career soon. What is my life? How did I not give up on this story? Why is this story so dear to me? I never shared this story with anyone before, because I felt like if I did, I wouldn't be doing this story justice, and I wanted to wait until this story was 100% done. And now that it is, now that I know what everyone's characters arcs are and what's gonna happen, I am so happy with how this has come. Like, it's amazing, and I love these characters so much. They all have a really deep place in my heart, and without them, I wouldn't have gone through a lot of times. I know that's kind of sappy because they're fictional characters, but every time I got annoyed at a story or like at a fan fiction I was writing, or when I was just bored in class, I would think about Cerulean and think about like, oh, what should I do with these characters? And I would play different story ideas, like AUs for these characters, and see how it panned out. And it was amazing because like I got to explore their characters like I never gotten to before. And yeah, you can argue, well, like, you were doing that with fanfiction. It's like, no, because these were my own original characters. I want to see what I can make, if I can, like, what would happen if they're in different situations, because that's how you really get to know a character. Like, for example, if Leon was in Haikyuu, what position would she play? She would be the manager, because she doesn't want to deal with this BS. While as Blaze would probably be like a spiker or something, like the ace of the team. She would probably be Ushishima level of badass. Or like what my hero character would they take the quirk of. And I would say, well, Renosuke is kind of like Deku, so maybe he'll be quirkless, and like that's his story arc, and his story arc is basically being a hero without a quirk. While Marcus is kind of like Bakugo, I don't know, not Bakugo, that'd be bad. It'll be like Todoroki, kind of like aloof kind of character with a really tragic past. But you know what I'm saying. Putting those characters in these situations will slowly and surely help you build these up, and I'm so proud of where these characters are, and I just want to share them with the world. So next video, or the video before this, would be about my story, my first original story that was made with the help of some friends. And basically I'll explain that to you guys then. I'll see you guys later. Bye!